So here's the deal, Chiefs Kingdom. There's been a lot of chatter floating around the internet lately. Mostly whispers about wide receiver Sky Moore possibly getting traded before training camp even kicks into full gear. And if you've seen those headlines and thought, wait, is that actually happening? You're definitely not alone. But let's cut through the noise right now. A recent report from Charles Goldman of A to Z Sports and cited by Heavy.com shut those rumors down in a big way. According to Goldman, there is no legitimate buzz inside the building about the Chiefs shopping Sky Moore. That's coming from someone who's plugged in with the team and has no reason to sugarcoat it. Still, even though the trade rumor got debunked, the fact that it even gained traction says something about where Moore stands with the franchise right now. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. This is a former second-round pick we're talking about, taken just a couple years ago, and yet he's barely cleared 494 total receiving yards in his career so far. That's a low number for a player expected to be more involved by now, especially in an offense run by Patrick Mahomes. Now, let's be fair. If the Chiefs were to trade Moore, what would they even get in return? Realistically, maybe a late-round draft pick or a player-for-player swap involving someone with similarly limited production. Nothing game-changing. And that's where it gets tricky. Is Moore's trade value really even worth pulling the trigger on a deal? Or would it make more sense just to cut him outright if the roster gets too crowded? I want to hear your take. Should the Chiefs trade Sky Moore or just cut him if he doesn't make the cut in camp? Drop your answer in the comments. Yes for trade, no for cut. And hey, if you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe to Total Chiefs News. We're on a mission to get to 5,000 subscribers, and your support gets us one step closer. Next up, let's break down the contract details and show you why a cut might actually be the smarter move financially. All right, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of why trading Sky Moore might not make the most sense for the Chiefs, and why cutting him could actually be the smarter financial and roster move. First off, let's talk salary. Moore is set to earn around $1,185 million this season, and here's the kicker, it's mostly non-guaranteed money. That means the Chiefs aren't locked into paying him if they decide he's not part of their plans. For a team always managing a tight salary cap, that's a big factor. But there's more. The dead cap hit if they cut him, about $543,000. So the team can save roughly $1 million by cutting Moore loose. That kind of cash could be crucial for signing or keeping other players on the roster. Now let's zoom out to the roster picture. The Chiefs have 9 receivers who are cheaper or have more upside than Moore right now. And among those guys, several bring serious value on special teams, something Moore has yet to contribute much in. Special teams are a big deal for players fighting for roster spots, especially backups and borderline starters. Guys like Nico Remigio have made themselves invaluable there, giving the coaches more reasons to keep them around. Moore, he hasn't made the same impact, and that definitely hurts his chances. So here's the real question. If you were the general manager balancing salary cap space and the need for versatile players who can help on multiple fronts, would you keep Moore on the roster or cut him to open a spot for someone with more upside or special teams value? I want to hear from you. If you were GM Brett Veach, would you cut or keep Sky Moore? Let me know your thoughts down below. And before we move on, if this kind of insider financial and roster breakdown is the content you're looking for, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed. We've got more deep dives coming, and you won't want to miss a thing. Coming up next, we'll talk about what Moore has been doing this offseason, how he's preparing for camp, and why this summer could be his make-or-break moment. Now, let's talk about what Sky Moore himself has been up to lately, and why this training camp might be a make-or-break moment for his Chiefs career. Reports from OTAs and minicamp say Moore has been hitting the weight room hard. He's noticeably added muscle and bulk, trying to physically prepare himself for the demands of the NFL and show he's serious about earning his spot. This kind of off-season dedication is always a good sign, especially for a guy fighting for snaps. But here's the reality check. Moore is entering camp on a short leash. With all the competition around him, he's not guaranteed anything. He's been getting mostly second and third team reps, meaning he has to make the most of every opportunity to impress the coaches. Patrick Mahomes himself has weighed in, saying Moore's role is simple. Come in and compete hard every day. That's high praise, but also a challenge. The offense expects him to be ready when called upon, but it's clear the team is waiting to see if he can prove himself worthy of consistent playing time. The truth is, this camp might be Moore's biggest chance to change his narrative. After 2 seasons with limited production and little impact on special teams, he's got to stand out. So here's my question for you. Do you think Sky Moore will make the Chiefs' 53-man roster this year? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments below. If you want to keep up with all the drama from Chiefs training camp, the battles for roster spots, and the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else, be sure to subscribe to Total Chiefs News and hit the bell to get notified the second we drop new content. Coming up, we'll break down the intense competition Moore faces from other receivers and which guys might take his spot. All right, let's dive into the wide receiver competition brewing in Kansas City, and why Sky Moore's spot on the roster is under serious threat. The Chiefs' receiver room is loaded right now. You've got names like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Alec Pierce, Sky Moore himself, but also some hungry guys fighting for snaps. Juju Smith-Schuster, Josh Gordon, and some younger players like Nico Remigio, Jalen Royals, and Quentin Johnston. Some of those guys have already made a mark on special teams, which, as we talked about, can be a crucial factor for making the final 53-man roster. For instance, Remigio is the clear front-runner for return duties this season and has shown value there. Then there's Jalen Royals, the 4th-round rookie who has been impressing coaches with his versatility and work ethic. He might just edge out Moore if he continues to improve during camp. The Chiefs also have to consider potential contributions on special teams and how a player fits into the offense's scheme. Moore will have to outperform all these competitors to stay relevant. So here's a quick poll for you. Who do you think will take the roster spot over Moore? Remigio, Royals, or someone else like Thornton? Let me know in the comments below which player you're backing to make the cut. And hey, if you want to see live updates on roster battles, injury reports, and final predictions as training camp unfolds, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're your go-to source for all things Chiefs. Coming up next, we'll talk about what all of this means for the Chiefs offense and their ongoing Super Bowl window. All right, let's zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture. What does all this roster drama with Sky Moore really mean for the Kansas City Chiefs offense and their championship window? Here's the good news. The Chiefs' Super Bowl window is still wide open. With Patrick Mahomes leading the charge and offensive weapons like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Alec Pierce, and Juju Smith-Schuster, the team has plenty of talent to keep the offense explosive and unpredictable. Depth at wide receiver is critical, especially in a season full of injuries and wear and tear. Losing a guy like Moore isn't necessarily a disaster, but it does put pressure on the other receivers and young players to step up. The Chiefs need reliable, versatile players who can contribute in multiple ways, including special teams, to maintain their edge. Cutting Moore would free up salary cap space and open a roster spot for someone who could bring more value, whether it's through special teams or as a more consistent offensive option. But here's the big question for you. Do you trust the Chiefs' wide receiver room depth if Moore doesn't make it? Sound off in the comments with your honest take. And before we wrap up, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Total Chiefs News, smash that like button, and ring the notification bell. We're chasing 5,000 subscribers, and every bit of your support gets us closer. Thanks for hanging out today and breaking down the latest Chiefs news with me. Stay tuned as training camp heats up. We'll keep you in the loop with all the roster moves, injury updates, and game previews. See you in the next video.